This is Roger Simon.
And Lionel Chetwynd.
Welcome back to Poliwood, as the latest canard from the left that the Tea Party is racist has finally reached Hollywood. Take a listen to our Morgan Freeman.
Their stated policy, publicly stated, is to do whatever it takes to see to it that Obama only serves one term. What is that? What underlines that? Screw the country. We're going to do whatever we do to get this black man. We're going to do whatever we can to get this black man out of here.
But is that necessarily a racist thing?
It is a racist thing.
Well, that was Morgan Freeman, and who responded? Well, the Hermanator himself.
First of all, I doubt if Morgan Freeman, with all due respect, who is a great actor, has he ever been to a Tea Party. Most of the people that are criticizing the Tea Parties, Neil, about having a racist element, they have never been to a Tea Party.
Well, wait a minute, wait.
So
He has played
challenge...
He's played a president of the United States.
Oh, great. Yeah, in a movie. This is real life out here on the campaign journey,
So are
man.
you offended by that?
No, I'm not offended by it. I just think that it's sad that they are so short-sighted in really understanding what the whole Tea Party citizen movement is all about.
But was that the real Morgan Freeman?
I don't think so. By the way, as usual, Cain is correct. He is a great actor. Let's stipulate that.
Oh, we do. But let's go back to 2006 for a second and hear the Morgan Freeman of those days.
I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
How are we going to get rid of racism until...
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I know you as Mike Wallace. You know me as Morgan Freeman.
Okay, I think that's the authentic Morgan Freeman.
I sure hope so.
However, we all carry the burden of our community acceptance, particularly in Hollywood, where he's right. By the way, Herman Cain was correct. In Hollywood, you say to someone, Tea Party, what they hear is SS. Right. I mean, it's language. You say Bush, they hear Himmler. Look, Morgan Freeman, who has always been a voice of reason. Now, why is he doing this? I think it's very deep, and you may know something about this, having been around the beginnings of the Black Power movement in the 60s. The racism was redefined as power plus prejudice, which thus excluded all black people from ever being racist because they didn't have any power. Finally, there's a president of the United States who is powerful, and he proves to be impotent. He proves to be incapable. He proves to be incompetent. Now, if you've been told virtually all your adult life, as he has, that somehow African Americans have a higher moral fiber in a way, they come to a higher moral calling than the likes of you and me, and that it was only the lack of power that prevented them from creating a moral society where there's no prejudice, now you got a powerful guy who is a comprehensive failure. You are faced with, it's almost like telling a Catholic that they found the body of Christ, or a Christian, or telling a Jew that Moses never existed. And I don't think he can deal with that. And so what he does is he reverts to type. And type is, you're all to blame for his failure. It can't be us. It can't be us. Critical race studies, I think, that's what it's about.
Exactly. And I really agree with you. I think it comes down to something very sad, which is human shame. I think that Morgan Freeman is one of my favorite actors in the world of all time. He never gives a bad second on screen. No. I mean, we'll come to that in a second. We'll have a special. But what I'm saying here, let me complete the thought, is ashamed that Barack Obama, the first black president, has screwed up. I mean, he's really deeply ashamed, so he has to blame someone else. I know this on a different schema. I'm ashamed as a Jew that there's a Bernie Madoff. I mean, when I see Bernie Madoff, I go, I hate that. Now,
because he plays into the worst stereotypes of Jews.
Well, he doesn't play, Obama doesn't play the stereotypes. Obama just was an incompetent. And it's the same and different. It's a shame that you have.
You know something, you just touched on something that was totally what you were going to talk about. But I find it very interesting, for example, that liberal Jews blame the problem in the Middle East on Netanyahu. They have no reluctance at saying, oh, it's our fault, it's our fault. Because somehow that's part of the myth with which we grew up, that somehow we are blameworthy. But the whole purpose of critical race studies and of the Black Power movement was to remove any blameworthiness from blacks, and there was no blameworthiness with regard to racial relations. However, blameworthiness can attach to incompetence, to ignorance, to willful ignorance, and to deceptive politicians, which is what he's turned out to be. But here you're right about Freeman. He's a wonderful actor. Why? He doesn't have an inauthentic moment on the screen. And there you've got the two men. And I think what he's talking to Mike Wallace, that's the authentic. They can't both be authentic. That's the point. I want to believe in the earlier Morgan Freeman. By the way, it's so deep in the Hollywood ethos. It is so deep here that whites embrace the idea, white liberals in Hollywood. It infects our films, it infects our comedy, it infects our popular culture.
Well, that was the help that we talked about last time, was kind of nostalgia for racism.
Yeah.
But you know, what's great is that we have Herman Cain. I thought his response was brilliant. First of all, he knew that Morgan Freeman is a great actor, and he placed everything in its context. He didn't get upset. I love Herman Cain personally, because he is a truly post-racial candidate, but his story is more purely black story, obviously, than Obama's. So it's fascinating. I think we're coming into a tremendous moment. I hope that Cain succeeds. I would like to see nothing more than a race between Herman Cain and Barack Obama. The reason is that it would put an end, people would have to face the issues. They couldn't say, I'm going to vote because this guy's black. I mean, the whole thing becomes crazy. Let it be between Cain and Obama. I would be happy.
You know, I need to say something. I don't know what Morgan Freeman's background is, but I do know that, for example, Condoleezza Rice had one of the truly, and Clarence Thomas, these were truly people whose narrative, whose story, whose saga is deeply rooted in the great mythology of how hard it was to be a black. Sure. You know, Condoleezza Rice with the burning of her at the Birmingham church and so on. Yet they are the ones that are called inauthentic. Now, if you listen to black radio today, Morgan Freeman, he's authentic. Herman Cain is not. When you get into this kind of myth making, we don't have a lot of future. We don't have anywhere to go. And Hollywood, which I think could be a way of educating people and depicting it in a different way,
is doing the reverse.
Absolutely cling to it. There's Saturday Night Live comedies. It's taken for granted that Mitt Romney's a racist. It's stunning, and I don't know how we ever turn that around. How do you stop the Matt Damons from buying into a false story of who we are?
You shake them like this. Matt, stop this. Wake up. You're a smart guy. You went to Harvard. Oh, well, here's the last thing we have to do, though.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to admit that Morgan Freeman, whose credits are spectacular, from Shawshank Redemption to Driving Miss Daisy to $1 Million Baby, all these great performances, has now jumped the shark twice. Not only has he made this stupid comment about racism and Tea Party, he's channeled his inner Woody Allen, and is putatively about to marry his step-granddaughter. We can only say the word in Yiddish, unbeschreien.
I don't, I don't want to believe that. So Woody Allen, he's going to marry his step-granddaughter. All right, here's what I want to say in tribute to him. Not an excuse for marrying your step-granddaughter, but if anyone wants to know how really good he is, there was a film where Kevin Costner played Robin Hood. He plays absolutely an invented black who suddenly appears in medieval England. And he's wonderful. He carries it with dignity and with pride. And unlikely he will be watching us, but if he were, you could carry a banner, Morgan Freeman, because you're clever and you're smart and you have presence. Restore some dignity to this debate, for goodness sakes.
All right.
And stop calling me a racist.
You are a racist. I'm not a racist, but you are racist. And that final note, this is Roger Simon.
Go to the racism at the Tea
Next
Party.
week in Poliwood, we promise to be racists.
Yes. I'm going to wear my Do Not Tread on Me pin.